Welcome to LadyBoss Unplugged. This is Molly Richards, your host. I am beyond excited to empower you to overcome life's obstacles, to form new healthy habits, to cultivate a growth mindset, as well as bring in some super cool guests who will share their own kind of magic with you. Oh, and did I mention we'll have fun too? Heck yes, we will. Join me for weekly, unfiltered, raw, real, and encouraging conversations that inspire transformative change, that give you the tools to create a positive domino effect in every aspect of your life, and just have fun hanging out. Now, let's get unplugged. Hey, welcome to LadyBoss Unplugged. I am your host, Molly Richards, and I am so happy that you are here. Oh my goodness, we are finally launching this podcast. We have been wanting to do this for a long time. I am honored to be the host, and my goal is to help you come away from this podcast feeling more determined, to feel more confident, to have fun listening. And I hope and pray that when I share stories or when I share anything here on this podcast, that it breathes life into you, that it speaks to you. Hopefully you can relate with what I'm talking about. And I just feel blessed to be a part of this and to share with you. And we call it LadyBoss Unplugged because I'm going to get raw. I'm going to get real with you. I'm going to share stories with you about myself. I'm going to have guests on here. And we just want to get real and raw and honest and basically have girl talk. We're basically hanging out together, and it's going to be super fun. And like I said, I hope that you can come away feeling more excited about life and that you love yourself more after each episode, and that you get super excited to go and tackle your goals. And so with that being said, I want to welcome you. And this is episode number 1. What? Okay, let's get this party started. This one, I decided to have this one as the first episode. It is called Say Yes to You. And I picked this to be the first episode because I know as a woman, as a mom, we tend to put ourselves on the back burner, right? We say yes to everybody else and to everyone else, and then we let go of our goals. We let go of our dreams. We let ourselves go physically, emotionally, all of that, right? And then we feel depleted. We are exhausted. We can be resentful. We're sad. And then all of a sudden years go by and we're like, wait, what about me? Right? So this is called Say Yes to You. And I'm going to ask you some questions in a minute. But before we get that started, is it okay if I do a little intro about myself? This is not about me. This podcast is all about you. But just so you know who's hanging out with you, who's talking with you, and who is hosting this, I'm just going to really quickly give you a little bit of info about myself. So my name is Molly Richards. I'm coming to you from Southern California. I am a mom. I've been married to my husband almost 29 years, and we have 2 kids, a 23-year-old and a 28-year-old, a girl and a boy. And I love sharing about how important it is to not only take care of ourselves physically and emotionally as well as spiritually, because for many years, like I said, I let myself go, and both physically and emotionally. And I just was not the happy, energetic, healthy Molly that you see today. Actually, with each kid, I gained 65 pounds with each pregnancy, and I just let myself go. And I was like, I don't know, I'm just gonna give all of my love and attention to my kids. And it doesn't matter how I feel, how I look, I'm just gonna give it all to them. And which, of course, my children are my everything as well as my husband. But I forgot who I was because of all of that. I forgot about my dreams. I forgot about my self-love. And I had to really work so hard for many years getting it back. And I actually became a fitness instructor because I finally got my booty to the gym after gaining the 65 pounds with my son, Logan. And one day I decided to go to the gym and get in shape. And I was the girl at the back in baggy sweats and my shoulders down. And I was like, "Oh, I'm just going to do this. I'm here. I'm just going to do this. Oh gosh." And I was terrible. It was like a dancey routine and it was kickboxing and I was terrible. But I kept going because I loved it and I was having fun. And then slowly but surely, I made my way up to the front of class because I was feeling more confident. I was losing weight. I was feeling more energized from that. And I was a happier me. I was a happier mom. I was a happier wife. I was a happier everything. And then one day the instructor said to me, "Molly, you need to teach this." And I was like, "Me? There's no way." So I consulted my 4 sisters and I was like, "You guys think I should do this?" They're like, "Yeah, we see the joy that you feel. You need to go share that with others." And then I did that. And I was an instructor for 18 years. I would have worked for free every day because it brought me so much joy because I got to see women like me gain their confidence back, get their health back, become happier wives and moms and women and sisters and friends. And it was such a blessing. And I still love doing that today. And I love doing that within the Lady Boss community now. I don't teach fitness anymore, but I kind of have that desire. So maybe I'll do it again one day. But in the meantime, I am here hanging out with you, sharing stories to help inspire you because I know how good it feels when we put ourselves as a real priority. And when we find that love within us, we can then pour out into others. You know how we say, like when you have your cup filled, you can then pour it onto others, right? Just like on the airplane when they say, "Put your mask on," so that you can then help others. This is what this is about, this podcast. It's about, we're putting our masks on, ladies. We are going to become better versions of our already awesome selves so that then we can, share it all with others and live a more happy, complete, whole life. And so I'm excited about that. Also, I want you to know that I will be sharing with you, but I'm also going to be having some amazing guests join us, and that's going to be so fun. We will have different women come and join, and we are also going to have our lead trainer, Andy, come and join us, and she will talk fitness. It will be awesome. So we have so much to look forward to. Let's get this party started. This is episode number 1, and it is saying yes to you. So I have a couple questions for you. Okay. Are you currently playing it safe? Do you feel like you've been playing it safe in life and just doing things that are comfortable, not getting uncomfortable? Like discomfort is where we just stay stagnant, right? But getting out of our comfort zone is where the magic happens. So are you playing it safe? Are you comfortable being comfortable? When was the last time you got uncomfortable? Do you want different in your life, in your health? Or do you freeze when you think about taking that next step, about taking action? Do you freeze and go, "I want to do it, but it's scary"? Are you scared of what's on the other side of being a little more, in quote, selfish? I used to think when my kids were younger and I started going to the gym, I was like, is this selfish of me to take this time out of my day? And then I realized, no, it's actually what I need. So then I could be that better mom. Has this happened to you as well? Do you ever feel guilty when you even think about making you a top priority? Again, I definitely did this. Have you done this too? Are you doing this right now? And have you or are you delaying your dreams? Or have you altogether stopped dreaming? Have you stopped wanting? Have you stopped desiring? I definitely did. In fact, still today, my husband will say to me, "What do you want? Like, what do you want? What do you desire, babe? What are you dreaming of?" And still today, my kids are grown and I have a hard time, to be honest with you, having desire. And I think because for so many years, it was me giving to others. Now it's actually time for me to give to myself. You might be in the same boat as me. I'm an empty nester. My kids are grown. Or you might be in the thick of it, or you might be a new mom, or you don't have kids, and you're just in this place in your life right now where you're like, "You know what? I need to say yes to me." I have a question for you. What do you think is holding you back? Do you have fear? Do you have doubt? Do you think that others are going to judge you? I think we all do these things. Do you ever worry about is this the right thing? Or are you waiting for permission from somebody to say, "Yeah, go do that. Go"? Or do you worry about money and you're like, oh my gosh, I don't have the resources? Or do you feel you have a fear of rejection, or you have a fear of failure, or you feel like you're an imposter? Like, who am I to be doing this? Raise your hand, even if you're listening to this or you're watching the video. Like, raise your hand right now and just show, yes, like we all do that. I want you to know right now, you are not alone. In fact, I would say like 10 out of 10 women deal with all of that. We also have a fear of success. Has this ever happened to you? I definitely have, where I'm like, well, what if it works out? What if this dream does come true? What if I love that? What if that is a success? I think we all do that too, but we kind of don't admit it, or we don't even think of it. I am a former people pleaser, sometimes a current people pleaser. And I will admit to you that many times I play small. What about you? Many times I want to grow, but then I don't actually want to take the action. Do you ever do this too? Or I feel like hiding is easier than putting myself out there. I also decide sometimes to stay stuck instead of saying, you know what, I got to get unstuck. I got to stop being depressed. I got to stop being uninspired. I definitely have done that. So with that being said, I want you to say yes to you. That is what I want to encourage you to do today. So what have you been waiting to do? Is it maybe getting more fit, maybe losing weight, maybe working on your mental health? I'm big on that. Big, big, big. In fact, I would say about 20 years ago, I had no idea what personal development was. If you're a part of the LadyBoss community, you've probably heard me say this in multiple videos, but I had no idea. I was like, self-help? Wait, what? I need help with myself? What does that even mean? But a friend of mine introduced me to my first actual like motivational speaker. What do they even call them today? Like thought leaders. And his name was Brian Tracy. And I remember reading actually back in the day. There weren't podcasts. There weren't really audibles. We actually had books on CDs. But I remember reading one of his books, and it was called Eat That Frog. And I was like, this is amazing. I recommend that book if you've never read it. It's a quick read, and it will change your life. In fact, I remember reading it and sharing it with my son, who at the time was like 5 years old, and he would refer to that book. It was crazy. But that was my first time that I was like, wow, if I can work on what is in my head and in my heart, it's actually going to help also my physical being. It's going to help me in my life. It's going to help me be a better person, a better wife, a better mom, a better employee. It's going to help me be a better fitness instructor once I feel more confident inside, once I have the mental capacity and the tools to help me in life. And so if you have not embraced self-help or personal development, guess what? Embrace it with me in this podcast. That's what most of the things I will talk about here is to help you with the mental part of our health, because I believe in it. It has changed my life in so many ways. In fact, I plug into some sort of Audible podcast or I read every single day. And so we recommend this big time within our community. Like 20 to 30 minutes a day will change your life. And it will help you, especially when you decide to say yes to you. It will help you break through those negative thoughts you have about yourself, those things that hold you back, and break down those barriers that are like just, that are really holding you in this safe, in quote, safe place. And so can I just encourage you in this podcast to go do it? Go do that thing. Go do those things that will help you feel happier, more joyful, more self-confident, more on fire for life. Life is short. Like, I want you to have that fire in your belly. I really do, because once you have that feeling of like, yes, I want this. I have this desire. I have goals. And then saying to yourself, it doesn't matter what people think of me. It doesn't matter if I have that fear. I'm going to do it anyway. You've heard that saying, face the fear and do it anyway, right? And I love the acronym, by the way, of fear. It is false evidence appearing real. Those fears that you have are fake. That is it's just that little bit inside of you. It's your brain trying to hold you back. Say no. Say no right now and decide with me to go for it. So like I said, it could be that you want to get more fit. It could be that you want to lose some weight. It could be that you want to start a business. Maybe you want to start a podcast too. Maybe you want to learn something new in your life. Maybe you want to go travel. Maybe you want to, whatever it is, you fill in the blank. What is that thing that you've been wanting to start or go do? Ask yourself this, be like, why not me? When you see other people having the guts to go do something, get those guts, go and do it. You have nothing to lose. You know what? Like I say, to everybody, like even with this podcast, we might suck at the beginning, but it's the suck is where we have to start, right? It's the start that stops most people. Don't be like most people. Go do it and start that thing that you've been wanting to do. I promise you there is magic on the other side. There is magic, and that magic is actually you, my friend. It is you. I don't know if anyone's ever said that you are magical, but you are. Many times what we were taught as kids, what we heard as kids, maybe even not what we were told, but what we heard, keeps us from discovering that magic within ourselves or even acknowledging it. But you are magical. You are breathing. You are here. God made you. And so ask yourself, why not me? And remind yourself that you are worth it. You are worthy. And you're amazing. We here at Lady Boss are this amazing community of supportive women. I am so honored and proud to be a part of it. And I'm happy that you are here too. So yes, you're going to live for your kids. You're going to live for your family, for your friends, for yourself, for your spouse, for all those things. But I want you to live for you, not just everyone else. Please stop letting it all hold you hostage, for real. Like I remember just before I became a fitness instructor and when I was just home with my kids, which I wanted to do, which is a huge blessing, I was like, this is enough. This is good. I'm good. I would use that quote, I'm good. Where really I was like, am I good? Like, I don't know. I feel like I remember having like deep desires and dreams, but I felt like I was going to be selfish if I actually went and did them until I actually got really unhappy. And I remember my husband saying like, are you okay? Like, are you depressed? Are you okay? He like noticed that about me when I finally was like, enough's enough. I got to go do that thing for me, which didn't take away from my kids or my family or my husband. It actually made me a better me. I was happier. So when you just decide like, I'm going to go do this thing, you will become more of who you are. You will show up as a bigger, brighter version of you, which then can go and give to others, right? I hope you can see this for yourself. In fact, sometimes I'll like close my eyes and be like, what does she look like? What does the future Molly look like? And I see her with more energy. I see her with more fire. I see her with a big smile. I see her accomplishing things. Knowing that I have that future me vision makes me act today to become her. So who is future you? What does she look like? What is she doing? What is she accomplishing? What is she dreaming of? What actions is she taking? What beliefs does she have in herself? Go and become that next version of you. You will love her. You already love yourself, I hope, but you will love that next version of you. And so I pray really that you will stop holding yourself hostage and that you will live out loud. Does that mean, here's the thing. I'm a huge extrovert. When I say live out loud, I'm like loud, woo! That doesn't mean that you have to be loud. I want you to be you, but live out loud, meaning like go and really experience life. We literally have one life. You know that. Being 1000% you, free and alive and happy. So I have another question here. This has just come to my head as I'm sitting here chatting with you. What do you need to let go of today that might be keeping you safe? That is keeping you from living fully you. What about you do you want or need to embrace to light you up again, to be that strong, amazing woman that God created you to be? What do you need to embrace? Is there something where you're like, I've been quieting this part of me. I've been just like really hiding. I've definitely done that where I'm like, oh, I don't want to be too much. I don't know if I'm everyone's cup of tea. I don't know if people will want to hear this from me. Guess what? Stop worrying about that. That's just holding us back. And then we just feel trapped, right? Have you ever felt that way? You're like, I really just want to be exactly who I am. Please, I want to give you permission right now. If you've been waiting for permission, many times we do wait for permission. Go and be that woman. Go and be that lady boss. Go and be that girl, and set her free, really. Now I have that song by Sia, Bird Set Free, in my head, but that is a really good song if you haven't heard it. Between that and Unstoppable, I mean, those are my favorite Sia songs, and those fire me up. Do you have a song that fires you up, by the way? That should be another podcast episode, right? But get free. Be set free. Let yourself be free and say yes to you. Say yes to the amazing woman that you are. So I want you to ask yourself, like, what will I decide to do today? And what actions can I take to live free, to say yes to me, and to be fearless? Yes, fearless. So what is it? Do you have to rearrange your schedule? Do you have to have an honest conversation with someone? Maybe yourself, maybe your spouse. If you're like, I need time to do this, or I really want to do this. I want to start this business. I want to start this workout. I need to do this for me. Like, is it an honest conversation? But what do you need to do? Do you need to rearrange your priorities? Do you need to make like a list of what you want in your life? When was the last time you did that? Wrote down exactly what you want. I did it recently and it was crazy. It actually gave me butterflies in my stomach and made me super excited for not just the future, but for today. So write it out. Many times we hold it in our heads and in our hearts and we think about it, but we don't write it on paper. When you write it on paper, it all becomes so real. So I want to encourage you to not just feel, I don't want you to feel like, oh no, this is so much. What am I going to do? This is overwhelming, Molly. No, it's about taking tiny steps, right? Tiny steps for now to be that person, to learn to love yourself even more, to say yes to even little things, right? And then you can even take big strides later. Maybe you start to walk and then you skip. And then you go for an all-out run. By the way, when was the last time you went and skipped? That is a workout. I just have to say. I skipped the other day and I was like, woo! And I was like, oh my gosh, that's rough on the calves. But anyway, I digress. Skipping is actually super fun. No wonder being a kid is so fun, right? But what I want to encourage you. So yeah, take those tiny steps. Skip, walk, jump, run, whatever it is. Just move forward each and every day and keep doing it until it becomes natural, until it becomes a habit, right? So I also want to encourage you as you start to do this, it might be hard, it might be difficult, it might be a little uncomfortable or painful in quotes, but that's when most people quit. You are not most people. Keep going, remembering what it is that you want, remembering your priorities, remembering how good you want to feel and the life you want to live. Say yes to you. You will become a healthier, happier, and more fulfilled woman. And here's the thing, like, you just have to say, you know what? I am a VIP. I am a very important person in my life. Many times we put everyone else on the VIP list and we're on the bottom. Put yourself at the top of the list and say, when I say yes to me, I can then say yes with more energy, with more vibrancy, with more love to everyone else in our lives. So how can you say yes to you today? What do you need in your life? How do you want to feel? How do you want to show up? What dreams do you want to go after? What goals have you been waiting to tackle? What little changes do you want in your life that will make a big difference on your happiness, on your joy? What are they? What are they? Maybe it's just, maybe you're like, oh my gosh, Molly, I can't even think of anything right now. Maybe it's just hitting the gym 3 days a week, right? Maybe it's going for a walk every night after dinner. Maybe it's having lunch with a friend once a week or once a month. Maybe it's you've been wanting to like host a book club. Maybe you've been wanting to cook dinner 3 days a week, but you've been too busy. Maybe you want to go and finally travel. So go plan that trip. Maybe it's that you want to get closer to your husband or your partner, but you've been lazy. So we all get that way, by the way. So go and plan a weekly date night. Maybe you haven't been spending that much time with your kids, but you want to. So create those plans, create those moments with them. Maybe you've been wanting to start a business or go learn something new. Maybe even wanting to go back to school. Whatever it is for you, that is your dream. Those are your goals. So embrace them. I'm like giving them a hug right now. If you're just listening to this podcast, like my hands are always moving. I'm always laughing and I'm being silly, but that's just me. Unplugged, right? Like we all need to just be who we are, who God created us to be without fear, without worry. Please, I want to give you that permission today. And I am speaking to you because I've been there and I still struggle daily. So I'm constantly working on myself. And so work on yourself. Make yourself one of the biggest projects of your life and work on it every single day. And you will become just a more awesome version of yourself, like I said. So I hope this spoke to you. I am so thankful for you that you have hung out with me, like sincere gratitude that you've joined me for the first podcast episode. Yes, there's going to be so many cool ones to come. Like I said, I will be chatting with you. Also, feel free to DM us on Instagram or on Facebook. If there's something that you want me to cover, there's something you want me to talk about on the podcast, you are the most important listener. Like we want to hear from you. You matter to us. So please share. And also share this episode with a friend. That sharing is caring, I always say. So maybe you have a friend who's been playing small, or you have a friend or a sister or a fellow Lady Boss friend who you're like, she just is denying herself from living. And I know that she has dreams and I believe in her so much more than she believes in herself. Send this to her. And also please subscribe and also give a review. There's so many cool things to come, like I said, and we appreciate you so much. And just go and say yes to you. What can you start doing right now, right after this episode, right after you are done listening? Be like, I'm going to go do it without guilt, without feeling bad for taking energy for yourself, right? I don't want you to have regrets. I don't want you to, I just want you to feel happy and joyful. And I'm telling you right now that when you get your happy, you're healthier. You show up differently. In fact, I was at a baseball game yesterday with my whole big family. I have 8 siblings. And all of us were there cheering on our nephew. And I haven't seen a couple of my sisters in a while. And they're like, you look good. And I said, guess what? Thank you. I feel good. And because I feel good, I feel like I look better. I know that sounds weird. I said to them, but I've been really working on me and saying yes to me. And it's showing up on the outside. Isn't that wild? So I didn't even know that was going to happen yesterday. And I had planned this episode before. And so it is true. There is power in finding that inner happiness, and it helps you make better choices in your life, and it has you show up in a different, more vibrant, energetic, better way. And we want that for you at Lady Boss so bad. I want that for you. So again, I am so grateful that you are here. Many more amazing episodes to come. Again, my wish for you is that you will do more of what makes you happy, that you will be your happy, healthy self, that you will live life boldly, and that you will remember every day how amazing and powerful you are. Yes, you are powerful. And I'm just happy to hang out with you. Thanks for joining us for episode 1. I will see you on the next one.